Cheers.
Cheers. I'm still waiting for my beer, but cheers anyway.
With the bag in the way.
No, my bag's there.
You've got that plastic spoon.
Eh?
I had a plastic spoon the other day. Okay. There's a plastic spoon, it sounds quite nice when you... Aha! You move the glasses and the empty cups over there. Come on, Graz. Play us a symphony. Come on.
What?
Look, you're challenged, right? Put the cups there and everything. That's it. Don't go mad and knock things and break things. But just make some nice noise. Oh, there's a can as well. And now Mr. Graham Simpson is going to play the glasses, apart from the ones on his nose. Don't knock them off. So far, so good.
That's disgusting.
It plays, go on.
Yeah.
Thank you. I hope it's the right kind. Thank you very much. No, it's not your fault if it's not, because we didn't specify.
Yeah.
We just played. Yeah. Thank you.
Bon appetit.
Thank you.
As they say in Germany when they speak in French.
So,
Hey, this might make a good noise as well. You don't want that anymore, do you?
No.
Go all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in one open sleigh. Hey. Sorry, Dad.
anyway, I thought we were just having the camera running and not looking at it. Just having normal conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that was just a bit of fun. That.
Yes, it was a prelude to
Sensible conversation.
yes. I was going to say to more comedy, but didn't see any comedy there to start with. So, now we're in the Rawson Spring and it's nearly deserted, waiting for.
Well, it is deserted here.
Well,
look, show him the dessert.
Yeah.
Show the camera the dessert.
Yeah.
See.
Yes, it's very nice. Thank you.
So it will be deserted when Charlotte's deserted.
Yes. Yeah.
Go on. Yeah. Sorry to interrupt you, commentator.
No, because we're not supposed to be commentating. We're just talking generally, aren't we? Look how quickly it's emptied this place. Amazing.
Well, you could pan round. Have you ever held your little finger out when you're? Should we hold our little fingers out while we're? Let's do a toast to Graz. Let's wish you wisdom and a happy life. Cheers, Graz.
Well, my life's nearly over now, as you know.
Well, I hope you're wrong.
Charlotte, tell him, because he keeps laughing at me.
Well, it's when you say things
It's
like
not your time until God says it's your time.
Yeah.
And not before. And don't let nobody else tell you that you're going either.
Well, she's stern, isn't she?
That's God's decision. Nobody else's. Not even him downstairs.
Is there something in the cellar? No. You meant the rotten one, didn't you?
Yeah.
What do you mean Lucifer? Is that what he's called? Or
I don't know a woman called Lucifer.
is he called the devil? I don't know.
Well, anyway, he's...
It's best not to speak about him too much.
Well, it's better to speak about good things rather than
Yeah.
rotten things.
No, but I just wondered who you were referring to when you said downstairs, that was all. I wonder if
Yeah,
it's
I
Gordon
don't say
Jackson or
his
something.
name because
You don't mean
he
Gordon
puts-
Jackson?
I don't
That he was
say,
in upstairs, downstairs.
I don't ever say his name because it puts fuel in his fire.
Fuel my fire.
Yeah,
Not your fire.
Your fire.
not my fire.
Elton's fire.
Not Elton's fire. Elton doesn't have a fire.
Oh.
But it says in the Bible that hell is prepared for the devil and all his angels. So
Yeah.
the devil's not in control of hell, which is destination according to the Bible. That's what Jesus said.
Do
Be
you
serious
do you
with it.
ever watch? You watch a lot of comedy. I know that. Do you ever watch films that have feature that character? Do you ever watch those sort of
I mean,
films?
devilish for,
Yeah.
Supernatural.
For example, The Devil's Advocate with Al Pacino
Yeah,
and
I think
Keanu
I've
Reeves.
seen that, yeah.
And how did that affect you?
Oh, I mean, I think there may be some elements of truth in there, or some, about, you hear about people, selling their souls.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But in a way, like,
Well, no, you can't really sell your soul. I don't believe. You can't, because it belongs to God in the first place. And only God decides what to do with your soul.
but what I'm talking about really is that, say if you gave me all your money, say you inherited £100,000 or whatever, and I was like a clergyman or something like that, and they said, "Oh, Charlotte, I know you're a very lovely Christian woman. Could you give us £100,000? Because we're looking after these orphans in India and they really need help."
Yeah.
And then I'm probably going a bit cockeyed here. And then instead of me going and giving that money, you kind of give that money, you see. Instead of me going, I just go off and buy myself a big car or something like that.
Oh,
you know what I
that's
mean?
naughty.
Well, that's what I would regard. I don't know, what do you think? That would be like somebody selling their soul, you know what I mean? Somebody going against what they definitely know is wrong to do.
Yeah.
And so,
But that's just wrong in there.
yeah.
That's just, I wouldn't say that's selling your soul. I'd say that's,
Rescue me spoon.
I'd say that's just doing wrong. Very bad.
Well, there's a story, Graz, in the Bible of two people. One was called Ananias and the other one was called Sapphira.
Suspido.
No, I'll tell them. I said it wrong. Ananias and Sapphira.
Oh yes, Sapphira.
I think that was her name. Please excuse me if I got it wrong.
Okay.
Anyway, so that people were the first people who believed in God, the Christians. When they all lived together and they shared things, and they sold bits of land and whatever they got spare, and then they brought the money. So look, they brought it to the disciples of Jesus, the apostles, and say, look, here we are. This is for everybody. This is for you to decide how to distribute, so nobody's lacking, sort of thing. And this couple, well, it started off with a man. He sold some land. But he only brought part of it. It was his to sell, but he brought some of the money to put at the apostles' feet, and basically he was trying to pretend that he was bringing it all. But because he didn't give it all, but pretended that he'd given it all, it was like a really bad thing to do, because he was making a show of giving more than he actually was, sort of thing, and getting credit for
Well,
it.
it says not to boast about your good deeds.
Well, what happened with him is one of the apostles says, you've lied. Not only have you lied to us, but you've also lied to the Holy Spirit, to God, in other words. And he just dropped down dead.
Oh.
And then his wife came in later, and I think one of the apostles again said that land or whatever it is they sold, did you give us all the money? Said, and she said, yes, we gave you all the money. And he says, you've lied as well. And he said something like that, the young men who took out your husband's body are at the door and they're going to take you out as well. And she just dropped down dead. And the thing was, they died physically, right? But I think it was a drastic situation because God wanted them to be with him forever, but they couldn't, he didn't want a bad example setting or something like that, you see. They'd gone beyond the pale to a certain extent. So as far as I know, they would still be with God after they died, but it was like being expelled from school, doing something so bad in school that you're sorry, you can't come to this school anymore. Bye. Anyway, but other people who might be watching this video, they might think there's a different interpretation, but as far as I know, that was God always wants to save people, but sometimes, you might let something drastic happen rather than lose you.
Wait, let me
go on.
But I do believe, no matter what you do, bad like that, I know it's bad what they did, but in my heart, I believe in forgiveness of sins.
Yeah. Well, God.
And they're not going against God and saying that it's wrong for letting them die, but in a way, I believe that maybe you should give them another chance.
Well, I think in that particular case,
they say everybody deserves a second chance, don't they?
Yeah,
but
yeah.
They might have already had the last chance.
Yeah, but still.
And then there was another story as well, actually, because in the Bible, the apostles, they were putting hands on people and saying words to the effect, please God, bless this person with your spirit, help them be a really good follower of you, and may your spirit come in them, and may they be able to do miracles in your name so more people believe in you, see. And then there was this guy who was a conjurer, and he came to them and says, oh, you're putting hands on people and they're getting this special power. He said, look, I've got, and he offered them loads of money. He said, can you put your hands on us? Look, I'll give you all this money. And that was like asking them to give something that God would give to people for free, because he knew that they would do the right thing and they were responsible enough. And it was almost like trying to bribe God, you know what I mean? And so he said, well, you better admit that you're terribly wrong and ask God for forgiveness, because otherwise, you'll be in a really bad way. So he did sort of come to repent and said, oh, I'm sorry, And then maybe a bit later down the line, he might have been a responsible enough person to have that belief and be able to do. God might be able to use them because it's like a clean vessel, really. If we have to get a clean cup for the coffee because of COVID and everything. It'd be like, can you imagine a cup full of cigarette ends and all that kind of thing, and you want a coffee? Shall I pour it just straight in? You go, yeah. Well, so the cleaner we are as people, the more
closer to God we'll be.
Yeah, then he can use us for more delicate things. But if we're sort of like using bad language and that kind of thing, and sort of, not being as
I think being right. I think God just wants us to be the way we are.
Well, the best that we can be.
Yeah, but it's not about, I don't believe it's about proving all the time, or just be yourself. God just wants you to be yourself.
But if
you don't have, I don't believe in I mean, I went through the phase where I felt like I constantly had to prove myself to God that I'm worthy of His mercy and everything. Now I just believe that God just wants me to be Charlotte.
Yeah.
Not proving myself constantly that I'm this good person.
But doesn't He want you to be Charlotte at her best rather than Charlotte at her?
Well, yeah, but in another way, I think He wants me to be myself.
No, I mean, yeah.
I'd rather go as Charlotte being Charlotte than Charlotte somebody that's
Pretending to be somebody else, yeah.
Yeah, and trying to be perfect all the time. It doesn't work like that.
Well, one thing to bear in mind, which I think is good.
I'm not saying be bad. I'm just saying be yourself.
But it says also in the Bible, it also says, find out what pleases God.
Yeah, but...
You know it says that?
Yeah, I know it does, but... Sometimes I just think being yourself pleases God.
Well,
I'm not saying be bad. I'm not saying be overly good. Just be yourself.
Well, certainly don't put on a show.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Don't pretend that you're better than you are.
Yeah, because sometimes you can go over the top with helping people.
Well, if you're doing things for show.
Yeah, he'll know. And he'll know when you've been bad, and he'll know.
And you know, because remember, said that some people went on street corners and did prayers and was showing off, you see. But
that's to get God's attention and say, look at me.
Yeah, but if you go to your room and you say your prayers, and only God knows that you're praying, you just shut your curtains, and it says He rewards you. And I believe that's the right way. So I don't know whether you've got anything to say, Graz.
Not really. I don't know enough about religion to get involved with it. I don't.
You must know a bit though, Graz.
Yeah.
Why don't you know?
I was never brought up to learn about it. Basically.
I think your mum and dad would have brought you up though to do the right
to have
thing.
values, to have
Values.
to have values. Yeah, obviously.
Morals.
And morals, yeah.
Yeah.
And but I've never really been a churchgoer, and because I find it uncomfortable in many cases when I do go. When I go to Elton's church, for example, I find it really intimidating almost. I don't like all this happy clapping and stuff, you know what I mean?
Oh, you ought to try cathedral one day.
Well, I don't like it too staid either. I like it to be...
No, it's not like that.
Well, it might be. The cathedral's going to be pretty hardcore, isn't it? Religion sort of thing.
No, it's not hardcore. It's pretty laid back in my eyes. I've got them to be laid back. Well, they're all laid back with me.
I've never been baptised yet. I was christened, but I've not been baptised.
I've been christened.
Have you been baptised?
No.
Oh, right. That's why you've got to walk into that bath of hot or cold water.
If you be christened, you don't necessarily have to be baptised.
Right.
Well, it's like, I think what they believe in what I believe the teaching is, as far as I know, is that your mum and dad get you christened, but then when you become old enough to know,
you make your own decision.
Yeah. To say, if you turn out to be an atheist, you say, look, I don't believe in God anymore, so this certificate of baptism, I'm going to tear it up or whatever, which would be a nasty thing to do.
Yeah.
I think most people wouldn't bother with that, but other people would when they know a bit about it. And
see, like I say, I don't have any recollection of any church or religious thing going on in my life so far. And my dad was a choir boy, but my mum, I think she believed and wanted to go perhaps a bit more than we. I mean, when she died and everything, and I went to the Church of Scotland, and we had a cup of tea afterwards, the day before the funeral. I forgot what I was going to say now.
But sometimes I think, you know, I think if people are falsely religious, you know, if
But
they
sometimes
can put interested people off, you see, because we can be.
Well,
to
I think we were pretty selfish in a way, because my mum, every time we drove her past the Church of Scotland on Hanover Way where the funeral was held, she used to say, "That's my church, that's my church," and none of us were prepared to take her along. She wouldn't have been able to get there on her own, even when she was fully mobile. Well, she could get the bus with her. But when I talked to people from the Caledonian Society, it made me realise that my mum would have been, either taking her along, and she might have been happy with people from Scotland, you know what I mean, and Aberdeen and all the rest of it, where she was from. And I felt guilty then, after the funeral and everything. I felt guilty that we were too busy and too self-consumed with her, to take her to church. You know what I mean? And I regret it. I do regret it, and I think I should have taken her along, and it upsets me sometimes. So, but then again, it upsets me anyway, because I look at my mum and dad's photograph on my bookshelf, and also my mum and dad's ashes. I've got them still.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they're on top of my bookcase with porcelain figures on top of them, like a swan and some angels or something like that. And every so often I go up and I kind of touch them, touch the wood, and I talk to them, and I get tearful. I'll be honest with you. There's times where I get really choked up about it, and I miss them terrible. We all go through it, but I do really miss them terrible.
Yeah. What I found hard is when my granddad passed away. Not so much my grandma, maybe because I've been through my granddad going, but that hit me hard when my granddad went. He was like a dad to me.
I remember going to my granddad's funeral, my dad's dad, and I was obviously, this was like 1972, 73, and I remember looking at my dad. I was behind him in the seats, and I just remember as the coffin came in or something like that, I just looked at him, and his hands were like shaking. Do you know what I mean?